One of the seven deadly sins of Agile is envy. And for me, I think envy in Agile looks like just copying other people's stuff, right? That's one of the ways it manifests. That we maybe believe that if somebody else is getting success with something, then of course we will get success with something. And the difficulty is that that's not necessarily true at all. I'm going to rephrase that. It might be possible in a small scale, right? So you're working with a team. One of your colleagues, another scrum master or another product owner, is using a practice that they're like, oh, this is great. We do this, and we have this value stream, and we're able to get good stuff from that. And you're like, okay, I'd like to try that, right? That's not really what I consider envy. That's just trying stuff. Envy would be looking at, great example of envy, Spotify model. Spotify model is a fantastic example of envy. There is no such thing as the Spotify model. There is no such thing. So there was a presentation and a paper that a couple of folks that were leaders in Spotify did at a conference. So I think they did a couple of conferences talking about what Spotify was doing, what their journey was, and where they currently were on their journey. Right? That was they're telling an example of how they did things, and everybody went, "Ooh, the Spotify model. Let's do that," and they absorbed that into their. I want this this capability, and they go try and bring it into their organization. But what folks don't realize is 6 weeks later, Spotify were doing it differently. They weren't doing what was defined in the Spotify model. A year later, they got rid of the idea of tribes and guilds and whatever else they were doing because it didn't work for them. Right? They tried something and it didn't work for them. And that envy of, oh, they're doing this awesome thing, so we need to be doing that awesome thing. I think it results in a lot of FOMO, if you've heard that expression. Fear of missing out. I think that's kind of part of envy. Other people are getting stuff and you want the same stuff. And that's where, at many levels, organizations fail. So they fail at the process level, right? Because you look at Spotify model, or you look at Safe, or you look at any of those big models and say, I want that. I want to install that in my organization. And then you pay lots of money to get it installed and then wonder why, you're not getting the benefit. There's the application level. I talked about this recently on a podcast. That installing an application that enshrines somebody else's business processes into your organization is not necessarily going to be successful for you, right? So the example I used before was SAP, right? SAP is a massive application tool, very common in our industry. But if you adopt a SAP tool, right? SAP comes with a bunch of different capabilities. So let's say it's invoice processing. Right? SAP has a workflow for invoice processing that comes out of the box. It has certain ways that it does things, and you're giving up the way your organization does things in order to adopt the way SAP does things. Does that kind of make sense? There are some things that you can adapt in SAP, but only within the bounds of what the developers that created it allow. Which means that when you see some of your competitors perhaps installing SAP and building their whole procurement processes in SAP, you think, oh, we need to do that. If they're doing that, we need to do that. Or if our competitors are adding these features to our product, we need to add those features to our product. And that's following. That's envy, right? That's following, not building your own path. Simon Sinek does a great video that is on this topic, and he talks about the why. Start with why, and he talks about going to two conferences. One's a Microsoft conference under Ballmer, and one's a Apple conference. And at the Microsoft conference, everybody wanted to know what their competitors were doing. What are their competitors doing? What are their competitors saying? What are they launching? What features do they have? At the Apple conference, they didn't give a crap about what the competitors were doing. They're like, this is the way we're going. We're doing this because it fits within our belief model. Generosity, comfort, confidence, contentedness, friendliness, goodwill, kindness, benevolence, friendship. Those are the opposites of envy. And I think that if you can put aside what everybody else is doing and focus on what do you need to do and what do your customers need, you'll have a lot better time, both in the process space, in the tool space, and in your organizational structure space. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow, and subscribe. I always reply to comments, and if you want to have a chat about this or anything else Agile, Scrum, or DevOps, then please book a coffee with me through Naked Agility.